Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the Speak Dicely podcast, the show where I get together with other tabletop enthusiasts and we speak Dicely together. And I am back with another DM's round table, and I am once again joined by some great DMs. And if you'd like to introduce yourselves, and where can people keep up with you?
Well, I'm Fred Wheeler, and you can find me on the House D&D YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and that's pretty much it. And I talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm Mark from Dungeon Class. I'm one half of Dungeon Class. The other half is Gonzo, and we talk about all kinds of stuff, Dungeons and Dragons, mostly family, how to have fun with family and add more fun because we love fun. And you can find us on our channel as well as also as on Twitter at Dungeon_Class and on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So that's us.
I'm Folkard from Guitars and Playing Cards, and I mean Lutes Dice.
It's your other channel.
And, yeah, damn it, always get confused. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Patreon. That's it, I suppose. Instagram, I forgot about that. I post my cats there sometimes, so you should definitely check it out. I have 2 of them.
Oh, nice.
If you're not here for the games, be here for the cats.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll get us right into this week's topic here. So many game masters often seek how to optimize their organization skills or what information they most need at hand during their games. What is one thing that you keep behind your DM screen that you think makes your DMing more efficient? And we'll start different from last week. We'll start with Mark and then go Folkard and Fred.
Yeah, one of the favorite things I like to keep behind my screen is one of those 30-second sand timer thingies. It's really good to use and have available. Anytime you see that the group is not really moving along or they're just kind of like big long discussion, not getting anywhere, you can just take that out and just sit it out there and just flip it and don't say anything. And then you're really like, what does that mean? I don't know. You'll see, so then they start speeding things up a little bit. And it's just a way to mess with them, get them going a little faster. So that definitely steps up my games. So organization wise, that's how I get them going. Keep them going. So keep the game advancing to where we want it to go. So
I love it. Has the same feel as rolling random dice behind the DM screen.
Yep. Nice little visual. Like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out.
I think that's something I enjoy about being DM is we get to be a little devious.
Oh yeah. It's not a bad thing to be a little bit. Devious is the word. That's the word. Yeah.
How about you, Folkard?
I actually have a video called "What's Behind Folkard's DM Screen," and I tell everything. It's not really popular. Nobody watches it, so maybe I have a second chance of talking about that. Thanks, Teni. Okay, so I've actually tried a lot of things, and I kind of want to tell you a story of how I started DMing. Well, not a story. Okay. I was, so obviously when you're a new DM, you're feeling paranoid that everything's going to go wrong and you want to prepare as much as you can. And I was like, like my table was stocked with books and papers and notes. And the DM screen was like all, everything was, what do you call it? Stick, like notes sticking to it.
Yeah, sticking.
Yeah. I actually, I was doing a crazy thing. I was photocopying the monster test stats from the manual and have like this pieces of paper. Like we have a goblin and a bugbear. Like I look at the session was like who's going to be encountered there. And I would print out the stats, and I ended up accumulating a whole bunch of these. And I had obviously I thought it was crazy after a while, and I stopped doing that. I then started taken photographs on my smartphone of spells and stuff and putting them into folders with like this session we have these monsters, but it's so much work, and I'm so lazy. So it was a real drag. I had a notebook with campaign notes and maps that I actually wrote, and it kind of felt kind of vintage and nostalgic to actually have all this written, kind of like a Stranger Things vibe, because I wasn't around in the 80s, so I don't know how it was actually. But yeah, finally I moved on to digitizing my DMing, and that's the best thing that happened to me. I don't have anything right now behind my DM screen unless I'm playing with terrains and miniatures, which I don't do really often, only for some really cool fights. But yeah, because I'm so freaking lazy, I minimized everything, so I don't have to prepare anything now. Everything is, I mean, other than thinking about the campaign, I have a laptop where, and this is the core. This is like the ultimate essential thing for me right now. So the laptop, I have my browser open, 2 tabs of music, one with combat music and ambient music, D&D Beyond, several tabs, several landing pages of D&D Beyond, so I can search anything like within a moment. And I also really love running modules. If it's a module, I would buy it on D&D Beyond now, because it has links for everything. A spell, a monster, just click on it and it opens up in a new tab. It's amazing. Like, and the final tab is my Google Docs, where I keep all my notes there. And yeah, I also about initiative. I used to do these cards hanging from a DM screen, and again, I mean, it's so it takes time to do those, because every time you have a new monster, you'll have to scrabble it on a note, and every time your player levels up, you have to fix their proficiencies or something. Yeah, who wants that? So I have a little notebook where I keep track of the initiative, because I've tried loads of things, and it's kind of this thing like, there's an entire different genre of YouTube videos, like how to track initiative. This new method will blow your mind.
Oh, so
there are
relatable.
digital tools, yeah. And I don't have it. Yeah, I have it here. It's just like this now. Like it's just names of the characters, and that's it. And I actually, what I do is, it's all messy. But okay, so if there's a combat and there are, let's say, 3 players and 5 orcs, and let's say there gets surrounded. So the way I track health is, again, like, how would you track health of 5 different orcs? I was doing like a row of numbers, and then I get lost when the orcs move around. So I just put dots. Like I actually draw a map on my piece of paper in a runtime. I draw like dots of my 3 players, and then schematically where the orcs are located, I just instead of drawing an orc, I draw 15 HP, so that I know which one is getting damaged. You know what I mean? Did I describe it enough? And so when it gets damaged, you just cross the 15 and put like, okay, 3. It gets 3 damage. Right. Then when it comes to 15, he's dead. So yeah, I'm sorry that I got your minds blown.
Hey, but I mean, like, with the amount of description you gave there, that should really help the people who are listening to this in a podcast format.
Yeah. I just think I was terrible at describing it. That's what I mean.
But there's a lot of good tips in there, that rapid fire there. So
oh yeah,
that's good.
I just found that this is the fastest thing. It's clunky and it's not beautiful, but it works so well.
But hey, that's real.
That is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Fred? What do you got?
Well, Folkard, I made a video many years ago about what I had behind my Dungeon Master screen, and I can assure you there was a lot of shit there. And frankly, I think those videos work best when you put stuff in there you don't actually use and just pile up more shit. Because then, of course, you can put links so that people can go and buy those things that you don't actually use at all. I mean, I frankly, when I see these videos come out now, I'm thinking, yeah, either really new Dungeon Master, or they've realized that the more things they put behind the Dungeon Master screen, the more things they might be able to sell to somebody. So I wouldn't feel bad about the fact that people haven't watched that video at all. It's just one of those things. I'm going to cheat, Denny. I'm not going to lie, but I am going to cheat. There are a whole bunch of things that I would put behind my screen if I was playing in person, but I'm not playing in person because the world went crazy. So I'm playing online, and even though I'm in New Zealand, we've been doing this for months, and we've only just gone into a lockdown. But we've been doing this for months because we knew we were going to be back here, and that we'll be back here probably in a year from now and in 2 years from now. So I've accepted that. So the things I used to have, I would have had miniatures, story cubes, pencil and paper, an adventure book, or my adventure that I'd written. And if I'd written it, it's probably like one page because I'm not doing 24 pages anymore. I would have had folders of stuff, you know. One of my big things was I used to have a tablet, and it had a folder with a whole lot of pictures of NPCs and monsters that I would show people. My phone was just full of Dungeons and Dragons apps that did everything under the sun. So I didn't have to carry so many books, but then I carried the books as well. So to make it simple, and I cut it down to one thing that I absolutely need in terms of organizing my game and getting things done, take all of that junk and just find a toilet with that blue stuff in the bottom that the dog has been drinking, and then flush it down there and realize that really the only thing you need is your brain. Stick with the brain, okay? And if you struggle to actually remember things because you're playing late at night or you're old like myself and you have trouble remembering things, then there's a thing that's actually very, very, very useful. They're called a pencil, and there's also a pen. You can use a pen as well. And then you find there's a piece of white paper. I don't have a piece of blank paper, so I'll show you. This is actually not blank. This looks blank, but it's not a blank piece of paper. This is a blank piece of white paper. If your brain fails you, because it does sometimes, right? This is actually my ANZ bill or his bank account. So I won't show that to you. This is the blank piece of paper. In combination, you use this and this. And if for some reason you struggle with the idea that the paper, the pencil is going to rub out, then you can opt for a more advanced tool such as this. And this usually does a pretty good job of organizing all of your stuff.
Amazing.
That's my secret, apparently. And if anybody ever decides to make a video on YouTube about the secret to actually organizing yourself as a dungeon master, you're welcome. I will accept the royalties and any payments that you feel you would like to send me once you have made that video. Okay.
Oh, I totally want to make a video now of just the most crazy random, like, really? Oh my gosh. He has a lot of stuff behind that screen. How does it all fit behind the screen?
I feel like we just got trolled here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What is happening?
It looked like a TV shop for a second. Like, send me $200 and get this blank piece of paper for free.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And if you call now, you can get 2 of this blank piece of paper.
And this advanced device.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And now I have to follow that up. And that's like, that would have been the perfect like cap mark. Like, oh, but now I have to say something. All right. Well, the thing, and this is going to be quick too. It's like such a, here's the story arc and the drop off at the end of the story. This is what I'm about to give you. The things that I keep behind my DM screen that I think make my games more efficient. And Folkard actually brought this up. I still print off like a stat block of a monster that I think is going to be appearing in a particular session. And same Fred brought it up. We're playing digitally at the moment because the world is in chaos. And I don't know what it is about the stat blocks in particular, but I don't like having to flip through the DM book specifically or search it up as another tab on D&D Beyond. I like have a little piece of paper with a picture of my monster and its stats handy and ready to go on a shelf over here that I try and keep organized. But I just like having that tactileness for that specifically. I don't know why, but I'm gonna cheat and also cheat and add a second thing. I keep 10 names that sound like names men would have, and 10 names that sound like names women would have, or neutral names. Sometimes they just work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
The only thing I would add to the name thing is what I like to do. I have names and I have like one line about their personality kind of thing, that something that makes them just a background kind of thing. So like one of them that feels like he's never like quite lived up to his mother's expectations, or another one that he
Isn't
really
this
has
everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty. He's an everyman kind of character. Yeah. This dwarf who is very suspicious of magic type people, any magic user kind of people. So just one little line that kind of fleshes them out a little bit, so that when you have a way to role play that when they come into that shop or whatever. So but yeah, I like to do that a little bit. But no, that's the name thing I do, and I too have to have those stat things. I cheat too, but I use the little cards that you already pre-made cards. But then I have to go through all the cards to find which one I need. Yeah, there you go. That's the jam right there. Yeah, I like that, having that small, but it's always hard to find that one monster I need right now and here. So, yep, good stuff. No, I like the evolution between what Eckhard was saying. We are from the 80s, Fred and I, and we did use paper and wrote that all. So it's kind of funny how you've evolved the way from the way we did it in the 80s all the way to modern with a laptop. And
I was always into old school. Yeah. I listen to Scorpion still.
Now we're talking. Yeah. So it's funny that you've evolved that way, but I'm the same way. That's my iPad that's behind my screen now, and I try to be less is more, but that won't sell stuff when you're doing the behind the screen video. As Fred knows.
That included a MIDI keyboard in that video.
Yes. I saw that. I saw your keyboard. I actually watched that video. I saw that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, yay. I did. Yes. There you
go.
That's good.
So I am famous.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about that video. What are you talking about?
You're probably not going to get famous from my podcast, but hey, if anybody out there, if you are listening, go check out Folkard's video about what he keeps behind the DM screen.
And all the other videos.
Yep.
Wow. Well done. And I think that brings us to a pretty decent conclusion on the DM screen and what we're keeping behind it. So there's a few ideas for you, and apparently we're going to keep throwing ideas at you because you need all the stuff behind your screen. But this has been fantastic. Be sure to check out these folks and their YouTube channels. You'll find the links for those down in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the show notes if you're listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be back with yet another question in this DM's Roundtable. So we will see you all then. Bye-bye. This episode of the Speak Dicely podcast was produced and edited by myself, Teni Brant, and the intro and outro music were created by Teni Brant. Thank you for the support, and we'll see you next time on the Speak Dicely podcast.